Good afternoon. This is Connie with DIY Cooking with Connie. I'm going to do a little simple recipe. It's called Hornet's Nest, but I just call it Butterscotch bars. Um, Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, Sunday, we have our annual meeting at the Miller County Historical Society, so we're serving dessert. And this is what I'm fixing this for. We are opening up this year the museum in Tuscaloosa, and we will be opening the 15th of May, and that'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 to 4. Doesn't cost anything to go. So let's get started. It's a real easy recipe. And first thing we're going to do is going to put 2 cups. The hardest thing about this recipe was me getting the milk open. And it calls for 2 cups of milk, but I use half and half. So, I have chilled my bowl, and I have chilled the beaters. So we've got our 2 cups of milk. I'm going to put the lid back on it just in case an accident would happen. And so what I'm using is some instant pudding, right here, the Jello instant pudding. It takes a yellow cake mix, it takes a bag of butterscotch chips, and it takes chopped pecans. That's it. So I'm going to put my Jello pudding in my milk. I've already set my oven at 350 degrees. And I've got a 9x13 pan sprayed with canola oil. In goes my pudding mix. Of course, it didn't open completely. You never get anything right the first time. So in goes my pudding mix. And I'm going to mix this up just like the direction says. So here we go. Hold your ears. This is a very, very easy recipe. The hardest part about the whole thing is making up your Jello. Well, pudding, Jello instant pudding. Get this all mixed up here. It takes a few minutes. I hope that I'm not too boring. Beautiful day outside. Very cold and wet yesterday. Gonna be very cold and wet tomorrow. Sunday, it's gonna be a beautiful day again. It's spring. It's beginning to come together here. Just about done here. And that's the only time you use the mixer, just right there with your pudding. that out of my way, next thing we're going to do, we're going to put our cake mix in there. Just a plain yellow cake mix. It's not got any more like extra pudding or any butter or anything already added. Just plain yellow cake mix. And I'm putting that right in with my pudding. These, yeah, there we go. And I'm going to use a wooden spoon. It says to use a wooden spoon, so that's what I'm going to do. And what we're going to do, we're going to mix it. We're just going to fold it in, where you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm just folding it in with the pudding. And you will have just a little bit of small lumps, and that's okay. Don't worry about that. Just so you get your dry ingredients mixed with your pudding. So that's what I'm planning on doing here. And it's going to be a very stiff dough. All right, I about got that licked. I'm going to rake down my sides. Don't want to waste any of it. Check, make sure all the dry ingredients are mixed up in here. It's the worst thing in the world bite into a piece of cake or cookie and you got dried ingredients. That means somebody didn't do their job. But I am trying to make sure that I do mine. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this in a 9x13 pan. It has already been sprayed with canola oil. And you can see this is very thick. So I'm going to rake that out. It's kind of like a cookie dough, really. I see there's a little bit that I missed mixing up. Get that all out. Get all the good stuff. My hand's not big enough to hold my bowl. I clean off my wooden spoon here where I can get the very end of this. My hands are clean. I washed them really good before I ever started. You always want to start with clean hands. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I can rinse off my hands there before I can get them dirty again, I guess. Because I got to rake my spoon off. Alrighty. Rinse that off my hands again. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take a spatula and I'm going to spread it out into my pan. Like I said, you're going to have little lumps in there. Don't worry about them. They're not hurting a thing. Just kind of even it out in your pan. And it's not going to want, it doesn't want to do that real easy. But I'm determined, so I'll keep working with it until we get a whole pan full here. Okay. That looks pretty darn good to me. I don't want one thin side and one thick side. I kind of like to have it even. All right. There goes them hands again. All right. Now, let me get a pair of scissors back here, because my hands haven't got the strength they used to have. That might be a sign that I'm getting older. This is my butterscotch chips, and what I'm going to do, I'm sprinkling these all over the top. Kind of spread them out, make sure that everything gets covered with a little bit of the butterscotch chips. And to that butterscotch chips, I'm going to add chopped up pecans. I think this is where it gets its hornet nest design, but I just call them butterscotch bars. They're very rich. But, of course, anything that's good and rich is very good to taste. So I'm hoping that the folks down there at the museum tomorrow will enjoy this. Now this is going to go in an oven. 350 is what I got it set on, preheated. And it's going to cook around 35 to 40 minutes. It depends a lot on everyone's oven. Everybody's oven's a little different. So, you're going to have it come out looking like this. So we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to bake it for 35 to 40 minutes. And then I will come back and kind of show you what it turned out to be like. So be sure and stay with me. Okay, this is my finished product. Turned out looking mighty good. And I cut a piece. You can kind of see what it looks like there. I took a little bite off the end. Very good, very rich. I think I failed to tell you that I used 6 ounces of pecans and then I chopped them up. So this is a very easy recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. I hope that the people down at the museum enjoy it Sunday. So have a good day, a good weekend, and a blessed weekend. So thank you for joining me. Do join me again.